The King is Pregnant. Written by Stefan Wolters. In I don't know where, King Pavlov was in charge. He did not have a wife. He thought they nagged too much. Lately, the king feels quite alone. Because of that, he decided he wanted a sweet little child. And because he owns the entire land, that couldn't be too hard. The king called for his wisest ministers and brightest men of all the land. But even the wisest ministers and brightest men were not able to help the king. They tried convincing the king he needed a wife to have a baby. But the king really didn't want to have a wife.
"My king,"
the wise wizard spoke,
"only women can have babies. Everybody knows that."
Well,
the king yelled angry.
I find that to be very unfair. Men should also be able to have babies, especially a king.
The wizard wasn't able to convince the king otherwise. The king kept persisting he wanted to have a child for himself. Later that day, the king walked by a huge building with a big red cross on top. A woman with a very big tummy entered the building. And to his great surprise, a woman left the building with a flat tummy and a sweet little child in her arms.
Aha!
The king said to himself,
Now I understand. You have to have a big tummy to have a child.
The king rushed into the palace and took all the pillows out of all the rooms. He put more than 20 pillows under his robe. Suddenly, the tummy of the king was huge. The servants looked surprised when they saw the king, but were too afraid to say anything about his big tummy.
I'm going for a walk,
the king said. All the citizens of I don't know where saw the king with his big tummy and were very confused. The king didn't notice his citizens looking at him like that. He thought he was very smart and smiled at everybody passing him by. The king met his friend, the knight, who just did his laundry.
"Well, my king, did you eat too many cookies again?"
the knight asked.
No, silly.
The king said.
I'm having a baby.
The knight was so surprised he nearly fell off his horse. At the huge building with the red cross, the fat king asked the nurse,
Where do I get a baby here?
The surprised nurse sent the king to the baby ward at the 12th floor. The king had to climb all those stairs, and that wasn't easy, with such a big tummy. At the baby ward, there was a room with 7 sweet little babies in a row. Behind the glass, in a window display, it was just like a store.
Of course, this is where you can pick a baby.
The king thought. It was so hard to pick a baby. They were all so nice and sweet. In the end, the king picked a baby with 2 beautiful curls, just like he had. He removed the pillows from his robe. He didn't need those anymore. The king loved his little child. He called him very posh, Prince Pierre. The people couldn't believe their eyes. The king, without the big tummy, but with a baby? Did the king really do it? Unbelievable! The wizard was so surprised, he almost ate his wand when he saw the king.
Was the king a better wizard than him?
The luck of the king was about to run out. The next day, a woman came to the king. She was very angry. The king had taken her child from the hospital. How could you do that, you dumb king? I love my baby very, very much. The king explained that he also wanted a baby. He was extremely ashamed and had a lot of regret. But now he also loved the baby very, very much. In her heart, she secretly liked the silly king. Couldn't they love the child together? The woman felt sorry for the king and understood him. She also felt that men nag too much. King Pavlov liked the woman too. So they married each other, and the woman suddenly became a queen. And suddenly, the king had a baby and a wife. And she didn't even nag. Together, they got 6 more children who didn't nag either. And finally, the king learned that you really need a woman to have a baby.